What really happens after you die? Is it complete darkness, a dreamlike state, or do you immediately enter heaven or hell? According to the Bible, death is not the end of existence but a transition into eternity, and Scripture gives a detailed picture that challenges many popular beliefs. The Bible teaches that when a person dies, the physical body returns to the earth while the spirit returns to God who gave it, showing that life does not simply vanish. Yet this does not mean the soul instantly reaches its final eternal destination. Jesus often described death as a form of sleep, not to suggest unconsciousness, but to reveal that death is temporary and reversible in God's plan. When Jesus spoke about Lazarus, he said Lazarus had fallen asleep and that he would awaken him, revealing that death is a pause, not a conclusion. The Bible explains that after death, the soul enters a waiting state before final judgment, as Hebrews declares that it is appointed for every person to die once and after that to face judgment. This waiting state is illustrated clearly in Jesus' story of the rich man and Lazarus, where both men were conscious after death, aware of their circumstances, and separated from one another, one experiencing comfort and the other regret and torment. Yet neither had entered the final resurrection or eternal judgment. This shows that the soul continues, memory remains, and awareness does not disappear after death. For believers in Jesus Christ, death is not something to fear, because Scripture promises that to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, meaning those who die in faith are with Jesus, experiencing peace, rest, and comfort in His presence, though they have not yet received their resurrected bodies. The Bible teaches that the final hope of believers is not simply living as spirits in heaven forever, but the resurrection of the dead and life in a renewed creation. Revelation reveals that God will one day create a new heaven and a new earth where death, pain, sorrow, and tears will no longer exist, and believers will live forever with glorified bodies in the presence of God. This future resurrection is central to the Christian hope, showing that God's plan is not to abandon the physical world, but to restore it completely. On the other hand, the Bible is clear that hell is real, though it is often misunderstood. Hell was not originally created for humans but for Satan and fallen angels, and it represents eternal separation from God.